joke.
Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
It's time!
Welcome back to another episode of Software Explorations. Today is Sunday, February 18th, 2024. We are going to get into Terraform today. It was a little weak. Hold on one second. All right, there we go. All right, yes, we are getting into Terraform today, like we always do on these Sunday afternoons. So here it is. Let's get into our agenda, right? So welcome back everyone who has been here before. Welcome to everyone who is new. We're going to get into our agenda for the show. All right. Okay, so first and foremost, like I always do, I want to say thank you to all of the newest subscribers and thank you to everyone who has been subscribed for a while, who appreciates and enjoys the content that we put out on this channel.
I appreciate you.
All right, you know what? Let me fix something on my end real quick. Okay, there we go. And we're back. All right, perfect. Okay, so as well as a salute to my tech barbarians, that is the group that I'm coaching in the Patreon to get their skills leveled up in tech and for their careers. We're doing amazing things. Part of what we're going to do today, I am going to merge our latest work that has been tested, that has been code reviewed and approved, and we're going to merge that, and we will be able to see the code pipeline, catch that change, and deploy it to production. All right, and then we're going to continue on our Terraform work. So let's get into our live show schedule real quick. So we have our morning shows, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Coffee and Kata at 7:15 a.m. We are currently working on Flutter as our challenge. So we will be doing, we'll do some new stories at the beginning, and then we'll get into our Flutter development. Right now, we're focused on writing widget test in Flutter. If you're not familiar with Flutter, that is I'd say it's not really a platform, but it is a way to build mobile applications for iOS and Android at the same time, and it's backed by the coding language called Dart. So we wrote some unit tests in Dart, and now we're writing our widget test to make sure that the front end of the application, that our widgets work properly. So if you're interested in mobile development, definitely tune in the mornings at 7:15 a.m. so you can see what we're going through, and you can go and win with us. All right. Sunday afternoons we have software explorations. We are still working through Terraform. As soon as we're done with Terraform, hopefully in the near future, we will jump straight into DevOps because it's something that we need to know. And with some conversations happening yesterday that I had, which I'll tell you a little bit about later, DevOps is being spread across multiple roles, right? It's not because there are some companies that can just have a DevOps engineer, but at the same time, and a lot of companies, from what I'm seeing now, some of the roles and responsibilities of DevOps is being spread across the software engineers, the QA engineers, and certain other people, right? So it's going to be very, very beneficial for us to learn that, because the more that you know and the more that you can master, the better position you put yourself, and the more opportunities you have as well. Okay. All right. So then we have our Tuesday night shows, our Q&A sessions. You should be used to that by now. I find some questions for you, or if you have questions in the chat, or if you want to call in, all those options are available, and we can get your questions answered. It's always a very fun and lively show. So I would definitely recommend that you tune into that. All right. And then we have our Thursday night software explorations. We are still going through automation on Calculus Coder's app, Free Mind Recovery. So definitely tune in for that. This coming Thursday, we're going to be working on refactoring we're refactoring and implementing the page object model from the work that we've done on Cypress, Selenium, and Playwright, right? So if you're interested in any of those automation tools, I would highly recommend that you tune in. Let's run through that one more time. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have a morning show at 7:15 a.m. We're focused on Flutter. Sunday afternoons, we're doing software explorations. We are focused on Terraform. Tuesday nights are Q&A sessions. Definitely join us for that. And then Thursday nights, more software explorations, where we are focused on automation tools using Playwright, Cypress, and Selenium, and with TypeScript, right? So very good stuff all throughout the week. Something for everyone to plug into if you're interested in tech, in QA, in DevOps, in infrastructure as code, or if you have questions, right? So, and in mobile development, right? So definitely tune in for those live shows. All right, let's jump into our pre-recorded content, right? So we have Monday's Candid Conversations, right? So this coming Monday, what we're going to be talking about is, again, you need to, if you want to win, you need to manage your time wisely, all right? So that's going to be the topic of conversation on Monday, Candid Conversations. Wednesdays, software explorations, concept and overviews. This coming Wednesday, we are going to be talking about an introduction to GRC. We're going to be looking at cybersecurity a little bit. GRC in cybersecurity stands for governance, risk management, and compliance. So it's going to be a few part series. It's going to take like pretty much maybe the next month or so. We're going to be talking about it on our Wednesday afternoon software explorations. And, we're going to do our intro to it this week because I've always heard about it, but never really understood it comprehensively. So I say, okay, let me do some research and let's share it with the group. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing this coming Wednesday. Definitely want to tune in for that. And then on Fridays, we have the bug bite. This coming Friday, we're going to be talking about Elon Musk saying that Delaware is not a place to do business. Right. And we're going to look into that. So that is our plan for this week. And then throughout the week, we have shorts and additional content where we have our clips from our Q&A show, because sometimes you might not be able to sit for a whole 2 hours, but we clip them up and we make it available to you because you might just have one particular question that you want answered. We make that available to you. All right. So one more time, Mondays, Candid Conversations, Wednesdays, software explorations, looking into GRC these coming few weeks. And then on Fridays, we have the bug bite. So definitely tune in for that. Shorts and additional content throughout the week. Okay. So let's give a round of applause to our pre-recorded and our live show. Something for everyone every single day of the week. All right. So next up on our list, I want to give a big shout out to this Discord community, this Discord group who really puts in the work. You know what? Wait a second. Before we go on, did I even introduce myself? I mean, you guys know who I am by now, but if you do not know, I am your host of the show, Tech Coach Ralph, where, as always, we are engineered to win. All right. So let's get that out of the way because, you gotta make sure you guys know who I am and what our goal and purpose is. We are engineered to win in all things that we do. All right. So let's continue. Okay. So if you are interested in joining with a group of people who, from all intents and purposes that I can see, have your best interest at heart, a nonprofit who wants you to win in tech, right? They provide weekly meetings, Monday nights, where you can learn about different technologies, different roles in tech. You can get your resume reviewed. You can get prepared for interviews. You can network with other people, and you can potentially participate on different projects that they have going on. Then this Discord is the one for you. It is called Grammar Hub. I am looking forward to bringing the leader, one of the founders of Grammar Hub, onto one of our live shows so that he can also share some more information, because I've been in the Discord for about a month now. I did a presentation for them about 2 weeks ago about QA, similar to the presentation that I provided to you this past Wednesday. But it's better to hear it from the person who is one of the founders about what it is, what their goals are, and everything like that. So we're going to have a conversation very, very soon, probably on a Tuesday night. I'm going to see exactly which Tuesday night, but I would really want you to hear from them, and that you can see what it's all about, and that you can join, because it is, from what I've seen so far, they are helping people a lot. And we just had a in-person meetup yesterday, and I attended, and it was a great, great experience, right? I'm going to post their information in the chat so you can join their Discord. Let them know that Tech Coach Ralph sent you, right? The link to their Discord is in the chat, all right? Let them know that Tech Coach Ralph sent you, and you can go and get the help that you need, because guess what? As much as I would love to give you one-on-one coaching and help, I do not always have the capacity. And I'll tell you this, a lot of the work that they do, from what I've seen, majority of it it is at no cost to you, right? Which I just cannot afford that because I got things to do, right? So definitely go ahead and check out the Discord if you want to level up your technical skills as well. And we'll go from there, okay? So that is that Discord. Grammar Hub. Check it out. Check it out. Don't wait. Go ahead and join today. Let them know that Tech Coach Ralph sent you. And guess what? I don't get anything from recommending them to you because I just being in there, I see that they are really looking to help people. I spoke one-on-one with one of the founders, and they have a good heart, and they want to see you win, but they also want you to be serious about if you're really into it. If you're really interested in getting into tech, then that is a good opportunity for you to connect with people who really want to help you. Like yesterday when I was hanging out with them, conversations around like, oh, this is the conversation that we're having, right? What can we do to incorporate someone's interest in tech into the projects that we're working on so that they can get the necessary experience that they need? And what I took from it was like they're even willing to pay as long like to pay for the infrastructure that you would need to level up, as long as it's within reason, of course, right? Because it is a nonprofit. But that's why I'm recommending it to you, so like you can join a group of people who have your best interest at heart, all right? And they're not really asking you for anything for what I can see, all right? So that is my recommendation to you. If you need one-on-one coaching, I am always here for you. But if you want to get with a network of people who can help you to grow, then by all means, that's the Discord for you to join. All right. So let's move on. Next up on the docket, we have Chaos Camp challenges. You saw Don on the Q&A show last week with Sox and I. Definitely go ahead and check out Chaos Camp, the Chaos Camp GitHub, where you can get better in QA, get better in critical thinking skills, get better in your analysis, and that you can win that way, right? The link is for Chaos Camp will be in the chat throughout the show. Definitely check it out. And, do a Chaos Camp challenge. If you get stuck on anything, you can open an issue in the GitHub. You can ask me on the live stream, and we'll stop everything we're doing to figure out what's going on to help you out. We can dedicate a live stream to that, right? So whatever the case may be, but like if you want to get better in all the things that you do, go ahead and check out the Chaos Camp. You need to challenge yourself. Keep doing the same thing over and over and over again until you figure it out. But you need to challenge yourself, all right? Stop being super, super passive, okay? So that is the topic of, that's Chaos Camp, all right? And of course, go ahead and check out my guy, Sox. We are working on Sox University to be launching that to the public in a couple of weeks. We are still going through beta testing. And, we'll keep you posted, but it should be coming very, very soon, where it can give you the intro to cybersecurity so you can see if it's really for you. And it's very low cost introduction. And that way you do not have to go spend $20,000 on a cybersecurity bootcamp just to find out that you're not really interested in it or you don't know what you really want to do. So I would highly recommend that you check out Sox University as soon as we launch, all right? And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some type of special promo around launch time. We'll keep you posted, okay? So with that being said, we are moving forward. Where am I? Okay. Book is too far to get. All right. So what we're going to do, we are just going to get the show started, right? I just want to show a quick.
Once the code.
Just want to show a quick little short from our good friend, Uncle Bob Martin, Robert T. Martin, about no one writes clean code at first, right? And this is brought to you by the YouTube channel Dev Tools Made Simple, all right? So let's go ahead and take a quick look at this so we can get into the mood and the mindset of development of, writing good, clean code, okay? So let's do this. All right.
Works, it will be a mess. Human beings do not think in nice straight lines. They don't think in if statements and while loops. They cannot foresee the entire algorithm. So we piece the thing together and we cobble it together with wire and scotch tape, and then it suddenly works and we're not quite sure why. And that's the moment when you say, all right, now I need to clean it. How much time do you invest in cleaning it? Roughly the same amount of time it took you to write it. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to put that effort in because they think they're done when it works. You're not done when it works. You're done when it's right.
So I hope you can embrace that mindset that it's not done when it works. It's done when it's right. And that's why we iterate and we go back and back and back, because we could have just said, you know what, we have this working. We're not going to get it any better in Terraform, but whatever we do, we want it to be right. We don't because when you do it right, you prevent so many issues and mistakes that you can run into in the future. And if you've listened to any of the other Robert C. Martin videos, we can start off doing a bunch of stuff at the beginning, and then because our code is not clean and it's very messy, within 6 months to a year, we run into a brick wall, and then we have to start all over again, and it's not worth it. All right, so it's better to start off on the right foot, make your code clean, and have a great implementation, so that we can continue to enhance our software, enhance our code, and so that we can continue to win. All right, so that is the goal. That is the plan. All right. So let's see. What else do we have on our agenda? All right. So we're about to get into the show, right? What we're going to be discussing throughout the breaks of the show is how to win in tech, right? And I have a few ideas, a few pointers on that, but I think there is one of the problems that I see in tech is that a lot of people are opinionated without knowing, without knowing much, right? We think the little things that we're doing without having experience is supposed to put us in a better spot, when honestly, it's just not there, and you keep begging for chances, but you don't put yourself in the right position to get that chance. So we're going to talk about during our break today, we're going to talk about how to win in tech, what you can do so that you can be in a better position to win instead of just hoping. And because I don't like to live off hope, especially when it comes to a career or a job or my education and stuff like that, or my skills. I like to actually have a good plan, know how to put in the work and things like that. So we're going to be discussing throughout the breaks how to win in tech. So definitely want to stick around for that. And tune in, comment, share, subscribe, whatever. I just want to hear from you as well. What do you think about my suggestions about how you can be more successful in the tech field? All right. So we're going to get started. But before we get started, one quick favor from you. Do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. If you need one-on-one coaching from me in whatever, regardless of the field that you're in tech, go ahead and check out the Patreon at www.techcoachralph.dev, and you can sign up for coaching and get access to exclusive content. One of the videos that I'm going to be releasing very, very soon is how to start preparing to work in an agile environment, right? I'm going to give you the strategy of what tools to use and how to do it on a regular basis. And then I'm going to eventually do maybe a live stream about how to apply agile to your personal life as you are looking to transition to tech, and as well as anything you do in your personal life. I think agile is a good foundation and a good strategy. So we're going to be talking about that as well. All right. So with that being said, let's get going. All right. So we always like to do before we start off,
Please offer me your energy. I ask of you, please.
So at the meetup yesterday, I got this, the meetup that we had yesterday with Grammar Hub, really, really good, really nice conversations all around, met so many people, and, brainstorming, getting ideas, it was a very fun time. But I got this, it was at this, it was at this gaming place. I don't know how to best describe it, but they do a bunch of stuff. And I got this energy drink called G Fuel. Never had it before, but just wanted to share, right? G Fuel. And kind of anime-ish, right? But all good. So let me Pretty good. Flavor is dragon fruit, right? Anyhow, let's get started with the show. So the plan for today, right? We are going to first. I'm going to merge some dev branches into master, and we're going to see those two sync together. And we're going to check the site to make sure it got the latest updates. And then we are going to be comparing our Terraform or the imported Terraform from what we have that we did manually versus our Terraform, so we can see how we can make the necessary adjustments so that we can get our Terraform to work, and we can have our infrastructure as code, and we can wipe away the manual setup, right? So that is the plan. That's the idea. And during our breaks, like I said, we're going to talk about how you can be like some tips and strategies to be more successful in tech. I think the first one you really want to wait and tune into, because that one is going to be super important. That's probably going to be the first one I'm going to give you is probably the most important tip that I can give you. All right. And then if we have time, then we'll look for some jobs as well. But there are no promises about looking for jobs. But definitely we're going to talk about how you can be more successful in tech. Okay. So before I share the screen, I am going to log into AWS. And by the way, we will be because with the coaching group with my tech barbarians, like I said, we're building a software. You've seen it before, the Poopy Pants quotes application. And logging into AWS real quick. So give me a second. All right. So we're going to have to move to a database, right? So we're most likely going to be using DynamoDB. And so we're going to be investigating that at some point very soon as well. And we're going to be setting it up through Terraform, all that good stuff. So, and how to connect to it, all that, right? So stay tuned for that. We are putting in work and getting my tech barbarians the necessary experience that they need to be successful in tech. All right, give me a second. Let me put in this code. All right, we are logged in. And so part of the deployment, we are going to go to the code pipeline. Let me switch screens real quick. Let's put up our 20 minutes first. Our first 20 minutes on the night.
It's time to do.
All right. So here we are. We are inside AWS. We're looking at code pipeline. And this is the one that we set up the other day. And our last merge was 13 days ago, where we added Google Analytics to the home page. All right. So now we are going to, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to break this out like this. Break this out like that. So we currently have 2 pull requests open. So this pull request was approved, right? And we are going to merge that into production. So this was adding this text to the page because so this just had the button before, right? So let's take a look at it, right? So just the button, right? And send the link to some group in Discord, and they're like, all I see is this thing. What am I supposed to do with it, right? I'm like, click it. But that is user feedback that they were not aware that they had to click the button. So what I said was, we're going to add a story on our sprint where we're going to add some type of text to let the people know to click the button below. All right. So this is the text that we're going to be adding. Not feeling it today. Let David Goggins get you back on track. Click the button below. All right. So we have our approvals from two of the 3 reviewers, right? And we are going to merge this into production. So if we go down here, and this is a suggestion. All right, cool. So we are good to go. And I'll put a comment. Let me see. So and this is the part of pull request, right? You can they can give comments and feedback, And let's see what's this. So instead of all right, cool. So I'll take care of that later. So we're gonna do squash and merge. So what I want to do, put this here so that we can see both at the same time. All right, so we have GitHub here, and we have AWS here. Let's close this up. Get a better view. Okay, so now when I click squash and merge, we should see something get picked up over here. Okay, so let's get this one in here. Confirm squash and merge. So that's merged. Now let's see if this picks it up. Oh, look at that. Boom. So just a few seconds after you squash and merge it, now we have this happening over here. So let's go here. So we don't need GitHub anymore. So this is how it currently is right now. And just succeeded, right? So now it's deploying. And once the deployment is complete, when we refresh, we should see the latest version over here. So let's see. Deployment is in progress. And the reason that I'm showing you this, right? Because a lot of times we'll go to a boot camp or whatever, right? And they just show us how to code. And then now you think you're ready to go on the job market and stuff like that. And once you go into the job market, like you find out that you are so like you think you're ready, but you're really not because you don't know how to use GitHub. You don't know how to use Jira. You don't know how a sprint works. You don't like. I say, hey, I created a story. What's a story? Like, no, so you're not ready, right? You think you're ready because you know how to write some JavaScript and something like that, some HTML, some CSS, but you don't have the full package. And then you get upset because no one wants to take a chance on you. When honestly, like, I put a super chat the other day to and a live stream that I was watching that nobody owes you anything. Like once you like success starts when you realize that nobody owes you anything. You need to put in the work so that you can actually achieve what you want to achieve. All right. So now let's go ahead and let's refresh this. And boom, there we are. Not feeling it today. Let David Goggins get you back on track. Click the button below. And once we click on the button, we have our quote. All right. Very simple to the point. Click on it again. Another one. Another one. All right. There you go. So it all works good. And if we look at it in the developer tools, and we go to here, let's refresh this. How does it look like that? I think it's the phone. That looks weird. Maybe I got it on my phone. That looks weird on the browser, but sometimes the browser does not match reality. See, it looks perfectly fine on my phone. Let's go full screen. Looks perfectly fine on my phone. Let's try it on an actual iPhone. 1 second. And I have to have all these devices. Like, a friend gave me this iPhone. Let me borrow this iPhone a long time ago, and I've been using it for testing and developing and everything like that. So it comes out super, super useful. So let's see how it looks in an actual iPhone. But the picture I took was from an iPhone, but let's see. Let me see. It looks perfect on the iPhone. See? Cool. So looks good. I'm not sure why the browser is showing it that way, but we're good on the actual devices, which is what matters most, right? How it looks on the device is what matters most. So we're good to go. Or maybe, I don't know. It's weird. Very, very weird. But we are deployed. So let's go back to our share screen. And let me see. So we have one pull request merged. Well, there's another pull request open. What's this one? Okay, that's Terraform. So that's what we've been working on. That one does not need to get merged. So we're good to go. And let me just drop a comment on there real quick. All right. So, you know, what I just did was I responded to a comment on the pull request that the idea is correct, but we're just not ready to do that yet. So, and to actually create, and that's the thing, my tech barbarian is going to create a story on the backlog so we can look into implementing their suggestion. Okay. So we are done with that, and we are able to see our code pipeline successfully deploy the branch, right? So we merged, and then now, boom, here we are. We are good to go, right? And it even tells us what PR we just merged. So awesome. So and that's what I like to do with my tech barbarians, is to give them that experience, that building software. Tonight we're going to be having our Scrum night where we're going to be doing our sprint review, our sprint retrospective, and as well as our planning for our next sprint. Just like we do in a regular at a regular company, because I'm running it as a business. It's a business for me, but trying to help everyone to strengthen their skills and level up. All right, so that's that. All right, so we have our branching completed. We saw the deploy changes, so let me check those off on the list of things to do. Oops. Okay, so next up, we are going to be comparing what we imported from Terraform into we're comparing what we imported via Terraform from what we created manually to what we did in Terraform. All right. So and then once we get to our break, we're going to be talking about how you can be more successful, because you're probably not successful at all in tech, right? And you want to know how to get into it. We'll be discussing that during our break. So definitely want to tune in for that. All right. So I'm going to go to the other screen where we have our code. Let me get some stuff closed. And let's go to, all right. So where we are right now, I'm in a different branch, right? And I want to, so let's do git branch so you can see what branch we're in. So we're in the application usage guide, right? And we want to go to our Terraform branch. So we don't see it here, but there goes our Terraform branch. What we're going to do is switch to Terraform, git checkout Terraform. And now if you look at over here, a bunch of stuff are going to change, right? So all right, cool. So let's close this down. All right, Terraform, and so this is our imported Terraform, right? So let me open our imported Terraform. No, that's not our imported one. Where's the imported file? Let me find it. Hold on. Okay. So this is our imported Terraform. And like I said, we're going to be comparing what we imported versus what we have created, right? And specifically around the load balancing. So what I think I'm going to do as well, just to make the process go a little bit faster, I'm going to comment out everything that is not related to the Terraform and the load balancing so that we can quickly spin it up as well as quickly spin it down. And we can see, and we just check to see if it has the application load balancer. If it does, then we move forward. If it doesn't, then we continue to work at it. All right. So what I'm going to do, I am going to open this one. So we have both plans. We don't need this one. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this right now. And we're going to put them on a split screen so we can see both of them side by side. All right. And so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to comment all the stuff that aren't related to this right now. So because we don't need the so we need this. We don't need Route 53 right now either. Because the main concern is seeing that the main concern is seeing that the Elastic Beanstalk has an application load balancer. So I'm going to comment all of these out right now. All of these out. AWS S3, you don't even need that. We don't need that. We don't need that right now. So the certificate, we don't need that right now. We don't need that right now. That's all for certificate. All right, so we get all the way down to here. And let's see what else we got. So creating the application load balancer. So we do need this. Okay, so we do need our certificate. So let me go and comment out the certificate part. Let's get the certificate back into play. Where is the certificate? AWS host. Okay, there we go. There goes the certificate. So let's get this back into play because we do need this. And let's see, is there anything else? Nope, no other issues. All right, so we have this, we have that, creating the security group, AWS subnet, security group, egress. All right, so there we are. So now let's start to compare, right? Let's go over to the load balancer. So creating application load balancer, right? So what I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna look for it in here. So that's not in here. So let's look for right. And there's a lot of extra stuff in here that it's not going to be really relevant to us. So let me look for this one, right? So we're not storing any logs S3. All right, so let's go with this. And I found 17 of them. All right, so let's see. Let's see if we have a load balancer type in here. No, we don't. Let's see if we have something that's called application in here. Elastic Beanstalk application. Okay, so okay, there is a load balancer type application. All right, so it's just written a little differently, but okay. So namespace AWS Elastic Beanstalk environment name load balancer type value application. So if we go up here, I know it can't be that simple. I've been fighting this for like a bunch of weeks, but let's see. Let's go to have all of these. So if we were to do setting, oops, not wedding, but setting, and we do name, oh, we don't need the quotes around this. Oops. Jeez. And then we do namespace. So this namespace looks like it should be AWS Elastic Beanstalk environment. And then value would be application. Okay, okay. Let's see what's going on here. So that's good. I think we can give it a try, actually. So let's see if we have this, right? So listener 443, name, protocol, value, HTTPS. Let's try this because I didn't get an error. But, well, before we do that, right? Before we do that, let's try a Terraform plan because that'll tell us if anything is messed up in our Terraform.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
CD Terraform plan. We're about to go to break. So it says that AWS Elastic Beanstalk environment name an argument or block definition is required here. Oh, my bad. Supposed to be equal. I'm thinking about JSON. Whatever. Code clean. Let's see if that goes through. Looks like it's gonna go through. It's taking us its sweet time. So that might be good. Okay. Let's see. Error name cannot be longer than 32 characters. What are you talking about? Hold on. Invalid combination of arguments. Line 2. All right. So let's comment this out for now because we might end up not even needing it, right? So let's comment this out. And let's comment all these out, right? Because right now we're just comparing the two. So we'll see if we actually need this at the end of the day. Let's comment all this out. Comment this out as well. And this too. And that's part of the reason that it's important to know how to do it manually. And then, which we figured that totally out on our own, you know, but, so this seems to have gone through. And this might be the winning piece right here, right? So what I'm going to do, I am going to do a Terraform apply, and then we're going to go to break, and we're going to have our topic of discussion for today, right? Apply. See what happens. Let's see what happens here. We're going to say, yes, please apply it. I like to be very kind when I'm talking to my code, all right? Because I feel like if you treat your code good, it's going to treat you good, all right? So it's doing its thing. Let's go to break. Let's put up our 5 minutes on the clock. And like I said, the topic of discussion is going to be how to win in tech. And I said I was going to start off with what I think is the most important aspect of it, right? So, how do I put this in the most gentle, nice way possible? This applies to life in general, but especially in tech. You need to listen twice as much, maybe 4 times as much, might be 10 times as much as you speak, right? So many times we block being able to learn something because we are too busy trying to express knowledge that some theoretical knowledge that we believe we have, when people who have actually been doing it practically for X amount of time is trying to give you the game. And it's very unfortunate, to be honest with you. But it's and I think that's one of the most challenging parts, right? I remember, like, I always bring things back to jujitsu. From what I've seen, right, when you first get started off, you would think that is the time that you speak the least, you try to teach the least, because you don't know anything, right? And there would always be like certain people who, like, it might be they might be there for a week or maybe a month, right? And they're telling the people who have been there for a while how to actually perform the move that's being drilled. And I'm like, maybe that's not the greatest idea, right? Or, like, so with that concept, with that understanding, I've always been a person who listens more than I speak, right? Because I like to fully understand what we're talking about, so that so when I finally do speak, I can provide better insight, better understanding, better advice. The reason that a lot of times you are where you are is because you don't know, right? So my number one advice, if you are trying to get better in tech, is to listen up, right? Now, does that mean you can't ask questions? Of course not. Like, questions are great. Questions are the way that you learn, but a lot of times people want to teach what they don't really know because they've taken some type of boot camp or course, and now they have, like, okay, now I know this. At the Grammar Hub meetup yesterday, one of the things that and everyone agreed with me there about, the longer that you know something, or the longer you've been doing something, the more you see how much you don't know, right? So here's an example. If you ask someone who just graduated boot camp, rate your software development skills on a scale of 1 to 10, or like rate your understanding of TypeScript or JavaScript or whatever on a scale of 1 to 10, right? It might give you like a 7, 8, whatever. Now, you ask someone who's been doing it for like 10, 15 years, rate your knowledge of Java or Python or whatever the case may be on a scale of 1 to 10. And you probably get like a 3 or 4. Because as technology evolves, as we continue to learn more, we like, man, this is like really, really big. This is really, really massive. I actually don't know as much as I thought I knew, right? And that's why we continue to push, we continue to learn. Like when I'm thinking about, like, Selenium and Python and like automation and stuff like that, the innovations that I see, that I'm like, oh man, I didn't think about it doing this way. Like I would say, like, I'm pretty comfortable and confident in my skills to automate. But I'll tell you this: once I joined my current company, I saw a whole new world on different strategies that we can apply to be able to do automation successfully, right? And that's the point. That's the goal that I'm trying to help you understand. Is a lot of times we just want to share everything that we think we know, but the question is, the information you're sharing, is it actually going to get you where you want to get to? Like, you need to be wise in when you speak and what you speak about, because just sharing, like, just sharing information that's not necessarily relevant to the topic.
Get a move on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on. Get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
funny enough, that's what they're going to say to you. Like, all right, let's move on, right? Because a lot of times, because we can't keep quiet enough to get a blessing, we miss out. We miss out. And that's what I'm trying to help you understand, that when you are trying to learn and you're trying to level up, you're trying to win, listen carefully, because when you don't listen, that's when you miss out on a lot of questions that you could ask and get valuable insight. You know, so many times, like I'm somewhere and I'm like, oh yeah, I know this. I've been doing this for like the past 15 years, and I'm like, you know, I could help, but the people who are talking, they can't keep quiet enough to help themselves. You know, and that's why my greatest recommendation, my greatest advice to you is listen 2, 3, 4, 10 times, 100 times as much as you speak. When you're ready to speak, you have to have understanding, you have to have knowledge, enough with the theoretical knowledge, and let's have practical working knowledge. And that's one of the reasons that I'm here, to help you gain that practical working knowledge based on the things that we do. One thing what I always recommend to you, like if you're trying to learn something, you need to publish it, make it live, right? I am spending money on a monthly basis to pay for AWS so I can have this application live. And, you know, as we're going through like the design iterations and we're going through the enhancements, one of the things that we're going to be working on right now, which I was talking to one of my top tech barbarians, is that like they were interested in QA, but they also love databases and stuff like that. I'm like, well, we can, like, why do we limit ourselves to QA then? Let's expand to see like other opportunities, you know, and now they're going to be diving into MongoDB, DynamoDB type stuff and designing the database and stuff like that. And we're going to continue working together and building so that they can have more opportunities, more experience. But I'll tell you this tech barbarian, they do an excellent job at listening. And then once they, and like they have such meticulous listening skills that they don't require much maintenance. But then like once they do have a question, it's like, all right, I need your help. Let's do this. And then we jump together and we get it done. Right. And that's why I tell you, like, listen more than you speak. And that is your first, and probably like with that one alone, right? That will give you so much success in the tech field, because you will be able to absorb so much knowledge because your mouth is quiet. When your mouth is quiet and your ears are open, that's when you absorb, all right? So just wanted to throw that out there. That is my first tip on how to be successful in the tech industry and as well as in life, all right? So we are about to get into our next 20-minute segment. But first, let me get something to drink real quick. All right, let's get after it.
Let's go!
All right, so guess what just happened? So our Terraform was successful setting up the Elastic Beanstalk. Let's go to the URL to make sure that it works. Remember, we did a very limited deploy of our Terraform because we just want to see if the Elastic Beanstalk is using the application load balancer as opposed to the classic load balancer, right? So I'm gonna go to here and make sure that our thing loaded. All right, so Elastic Beanstalk is set up properly, right? Now we're going to navigate inside of here. So there's not going to be any code pipeline because we didn't set that up. We have it commented out, right? So let's go and look for Elastic Beanstalk. And if we have a successful Elastic Beanstalk, then we will uncomment everything else out. So there goes the new one. Let's click on this. Now let's look for our where would we see that? Our load balancer type, right? Where do we see that? I guess we go into no configuration on the side. And let's see if we have success this time. Fingers crossed, my friends. Oh my God. Yes, we are. We got it. We finally got our application load balance, and all it took was, oh my goodness. All it took was, I think the main thing, well, so we had this load balancer type, right? I think it was this one. It was pretty much this one was the one that we needed to add to get it to work. All this time we were spending trying to figure this out, and that was the one that was holding us back. All right. So that is very exciting news. So now you know what that means, right? Do you know what that means? So now we're going to let's just do a whole thing, right? We're gonna do a Terraform destroy. Let's get rid of the whole thing, and now we're going to uncomment all of the code, and we are going to we're gonna do a full deploy because we could have just uncommented what we had commented out, and then it would have made the modifications, but we want to see the whole shebang happen. All right, so let's wait for this to be done. But this is very, very exciting news. I am ecstatic right now to see this. All right. So, you know, it took us like 3 weeks just to find out these 4 lines of code right here. I thought we tried it, but I think we probably it was so hard to find the actual code that referenced this, right? So what we're gonna do, we're going to uncomment everything else out. We can start doing that now while it's destroying. And then if that works, then we'll get rid of the other code. So let's go here and let's uncomment that. And we can go all the way to here. I'm going to leave these commented out because we might not actually need it. And if we don't, if at the end of the day everything works, then we will get rid of all this code, and then we'll be like, so we might actually reach our goal very, very early for today, right? Our goal might be met, and then we can start looking at maybe we can start looking at DynamoDB, right? To get that started. But I'm very, very excited. It's the future looks bright. Okay. All right, taking a sweet time to destroy. But this is amazing. This is totally amazing. Exactly what I wanted to see. We are victorious. Let's wait for this to finish destroying. Taking some time. You know, like it takes some time for it to get spun up and to get spun down. How long did it take for it to finish spinning up? Okay. Just wait for it to be done, and then we can move forward into our okay. Unable to delete app because it has the I think we can do it again. Sometimes it doesn't kill it before. All right, cool. So we are good to go, right? If we look back over here, and let's refresh this page. It says pending, and all right, it got rid of it. All right. So now we have all of our code commented back in. What I am going to do is I'm going to log into DreamHost, so we can modify our name servers again to see if this is going to work, right? So everything is commented back in, and let's do a Terraform apply. And remember, along the way, we're still going to have to do that annoying manual part where we connect our code pipeline to GitHub. You know, that's the only manual part that there is to it. And then we can change our name servers if everything goes right, and we can see the site loading up. We'll change our name servers, and we can see if our certificate is working properly. And at that point, if everything is working correctly, then we can actually get rid of our manual implementation, because we would have successfully implemented our deployment, our infrastructure in Terraform, infrastructure as code, and then we can go on from there. And then we can start setting up. So at that point, then we don't have to tear down and tear up anymore. We can just continue to add additional resources to our Terraform. There's not going to be any. I have to figure out how that's going to work, right? But we probably have to have a separate file so we can do. Maybe we'll tear it down one more time until we can figure out how to manage these different resources. Maybe I don't know. I think it is. I think we can actually have a file. Like we say, all right, run this Terraform on this particular file instead of running the whole Terraform on everything, Maybe we'll have another file for our DynamoDB and take care of it that way. So we'll see. We shall definitely see. All right. Okay. So let me, so while this is happening, I am navigating inside of DreamHost to get to the DNS information. And then we will eventually as well get this to be a external, get it a better domain name, and we are also going to be turning this into a mobile app as well, so that you can download the Poopy Pants Quotes app, which is inspired by David Goggins. And my number one thing is putting things out there for people to see the work that my tech barbarians have done. I can do. That Michael Jordan, and I think it was Mia Hamm that commercial. Anything you can do, I can do better, right? And I know that I can do anything, right? But giving the opportunity to my tech barbarians so that they can actually be able to accomplish these things as well. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, Some people make it, some people don't. But my number one goal is to have you guys level up your technical skills. All right. Still all right. I'm gonna force it. Okay, let's look at this. There's some maintenance I need to do on this hosting as well, but it's all good. All right, let's go to the DNS. All right, yeah. So it's creating its While it's doing that, I'll give you a reminder of what we're going to be updating. So let me zoom in a bit. So we're going to be updating these name servers for like the Poopy Pants subdomain. These right here will be updated so that when people hit poopypants.techcoachrob.dev, they will see they're going to be routed to the new Elastic Beanstalk environment. All right. This one is no longer good. And we can go into here and we can see that the new environment is being set up, and then there's going to be the code pipeline and all that good stuff. We can start navigating the code pipeline now as well. And I'll tell you this, right? 6 months ago, I did not know 90% of this stuff about, like, the most I knew about AWS was a little bit about Rod 53. I know a little bit about, I know a decent amount about EC2 instances because I used them quite a bit. I knew very little about the Elastic container registry, but like about code pipeline and Elastic Beanstalk and all these things, I knew absolutely nothing about it, right? And about these certificates and stuff like that, I knew absolutely nothing. And here we are. We are growing and we're learning and stuff like that, right? So the latest execution failed as expected. Once this is done, then we're going to go in there and we are going to do the rest of, like, connecting to the GitHub and stuff like that, right? But if you have been following along this Terraform journey, you would have learned so much along with me because we went from knowing nothing about Terraform, right? The most I ever did in Terraform was when I started at my company. We had to go and update this Terraform file so that our username could be in there. And that was like, and they gave you like step-by-step instructions on how to do that. I didn't know anything about it. And now we have built entire infrastructure, right? Everything is on the up and up, right? Everything is done. And now we should be, so before we do anything, let's make sure that this is up first. So that's up, right? So now we're going to go to code pipeline and we're going to click on here like we always have to do. Unfortunately, that really bothers me. And we're going to go to view details. We're going to go to, actually, we're going to go to edit. And, before we do that, I want to see what notify is actually. Create a notification rule. Oh, we can say, oh, AWS chat. So, that's pretty cool. You can have AWS chatbot where we say that, okay. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about right now, but that's pretty cool. We're going to set up some notifications as well, but we will do, yeah, that's going to be really cool. We'll have some time, if this works, we'll have some time and we can do this after, right? Let's do edit. And let's do, what are we looking at? Edit here. We have that. It's not that one. It is edit source, I think. And this one, and GitHub provider, and update pending connection. We have to connect to GitHub. And we're going to say tech coach Ralph, connect, and boom, there we go. And we are going to say done here. And we're going to go to save that. Everything else is good, right? Save that. Save changes to the pipeline. And we are going to release change. Release. So now it's going to go through, get the latest version. And we should be able to see the same exact site that we have here, although it's, looking dumb, but the same exact site that we have here, we should be able to see it here once this deployment is completed, right? So what I'm going to do is I am going to extract this one, and we are going to move it like that. And we're going to take this one and we're going to move it like that. Close this out. So once the deploy is completed, we're going to just refresh this page and it should look exactly like this page. Make this a little smaller as well. All right, so the deployment is in progress. And it even has the latest branches deploying, right? What we just did, it has it on this new pipeline. We're just waiting for it to be successful. Let's see if we click on view details if we see anything. Nothing to see here. And then the final test is going to be, are we able to get it on HTTPS using our, after we update DreamHost, right? So while we're doing this, while we're waiting for this deployment to happen, I am going to check Terraform single file. Apply, all right, Terraform apply only one TF file. That's what I'm talking about. So I have my security groups in the same directory with the plenty other resources. Okay. Is there a way to do Terraform auto approve only my security groups? Not really. The standard way to work around this is to use EG, or to use. So Terraform apply dash target. Oh, that's only going to apply the one security group at a time. So it gets tedious. We have a lot of them. However, you can, target multiple resources in one command. Ooh, that's annoying. Create a module. You can create a module just like you can target a plain resource. Be sure to include the quotes around the target Terraform apply target module. Inside this module, you can define all your security groups just like you would have outside of the module, as well as being able to target it directly. This also makes it easier for you to reuse the same set of security groups for other infrastructure if you need to. Interesting. If you organize your code by modules, you could apply them. Okay, so this one has pretty much the same concept. Okay, so maybe we cannot do a particular file, but that's weird that they don't have that. But you know, it is what it is. So maybe we'll start working on modules. We will start working on modules. Unfortunately, Terraform doesn't have the feature to apply a specific TF file. Terraform applies all .tf files in the same directory, but you can apply specific code with comment out and uncomment. For example, if you have two TF files, first.tf and second.tf in the same directory as the resources for, and the second one is this. Now you want to apply only the first TF file, you need to comment out the. Interesting. Yeah. Maybe the modules thing might be the right way to go. We'll look into it a little bit more. But we have a successful deployment here. So let's go back over here, and so we are looking to get exactly what we have here, right here. Okay. So let's refresh. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So step 1 completed. Now the next step is, can we get this right here? Or can we get going to poopypants.techcoachrough.dev to go to our, scroll down a little bit so you can see our, instead of being the Elastic Beanstalk URL, can we get that here, right? So what we're going to do, we are going to navigate to Route 53. So we can get our name servers that we should be using for DreamHost, right? So let's put this over here. And we're going to go to, move over here a little bit. And we're going to go to here.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
Up. It is time for a break. So we are going to go to break. And then once we come back, we will, actually, no, we're going to do this now because it does take some time for it to propagate. So we'll do this now, and then after, while it's propagating, we can go on break and we can continue talking a little bit more, okay? So let's go to our 2 hosted zones. And I think this is our Terraform managed one. So let's go into this one. And these are the name servers that we're going to be using. So let's start taking this. Do I have to change this one? I don't remember. Let me see something right here real quick. Okay, so let's do, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit on here. Well, actually, no, I can close this down over here. Let's see here. So let's copy this real quick and just add another one to it. Give this some time to propagate. And that's going to be for the, I believe that's for the validating the certificate actually does belong to the domain that it's going to be added to. So let's add this record. We got that one. And now we are going to be updating this right here. So here, and let's go back to here, right? So this is what we need, right? We need this one. Oh, why didn't I just copy it from before? We're going to copy that and, oh, not this one. Hold on. Wait a minute. So we are going to this one, right? The first one, we can always get it from the other one if we have to. So this is it. And save. Copy the second one. Is that the right one? Okay, so let's copy the second one. Save. Copy the third one. Save. Wait, oops. There is. Wait, should that be in there or no? Or no? All right, there goes that one. And then we have our last one. I don't know if the dot is supposed to be in there because when I click on copy, it doesn't copy the dot. But I had the dot in mind. I don't know. We shall see. Right. So our name servers are saved and updated. And let's give it the time that it needs to propagate. And we can go to break. Okay. So we shall see when we come back if our certificate actually took. And if it doesn't, if it doesn't take, I'm going to put the dots at the end of each one of them just to be on the safe side, and we'll find out. All right. So let's go to break. What is the next thing up on our agenda? Okay. So the other thing that we're going to talk about is in how to be successful in tech, how to win in tech is 5 minutes up. You need to ask for help, right? We think that I've come across this so many times when people they can't stop talking about what they think they know and what they believe when they should just be really asking for help, right? Hey, I'm trying to do this, but I'm not getting any success doing it. And can you help me? What should I do? Right. And a lot of times, especially with people in tech, right? We love to share, we love to give information. But then if we start to share and then you start talking about, oh, but this and that and that and that and that and that, we're like, okay, cool. Do it your way. Do it your way. Oh my God. Let's stop the show real quick. We got my guy Mitch in the chat. He says, Tech Coach Ralph, what's up, bro? What's up, Mitch? So happy to hear from you. Good to have you here. So guess what? I'm gonna start a battle with don't tell Joseph this, right? I'm gonna start a battle with him. I'm gonna let him know tomorrow that I get more words from you than he does in the chat. All right? That means so much. I'm gonna let him know. I'm like, hey, you get a thumbs up from Mitch. I get 6 words out of Mitch on a consistent basis, right? Anyways, I'm just messing around. How's it going, Mitch? It is so good to have you here. How is your weekend going? We're about to wrap up the weekend to get back to work tomorrow. So hopefully all is well with you and your family as always. So we're having a lot of success with Terraform this afternoon. It was only one block of code that I needed to add to get our Terraform work underway. So we're cruising through it. Right now we're about to do the ultimate test to see if everything that we did works. And on the break, I am talking about how to be successful in tech, right? And in the first block, in the first break, I was talking about you need to listen 2, 3, 10, 100 times as much as you speak. And I know Mitch has no problem with that, listening more than he speaks. Trust me, we all know that. But so that's what I talked about in the first block, and then in the second block, I'm talking about asking for help. Right. So what I was saying is, if you ask questions, when you don't understand something, definitely ask questions. Right. But when you ask for help and then you won't be quiet because like, oh, but this and that and that and that, everything that you thought you knew, which for some reason it doesn't work. So if it doesn't work, why do you keep talking about it? Like, I say, hey, I tried this, right? And this is the results that I'm getting. Can you help me? And now we're going to ask you, okay, did you do this? Did you do that? And you just answer concisely, right? Because we're trying to get, we're gathering information to see, okay, what's going wrong and how can we help you? But so many times we just want to, we just say, oh, it's the thing's fault that it doesn't work because I did exactly what they taught me to do in the theory. I followed it to a T, and this is the problem, right? And I'm like, no, actually, did you look at this? Did you try that? And that's the difference between having experience and having whatever it is that you have, right? With not having experience, the people who've been doing it for a while, even if you've been doing it for 1-2 years, right? You're starting to be battle tested. You're not as battle tested as the people who've been doing it for like 5, 10, 15 years, but you're not a rookie anymore, you know? And the thing is, the people who haven't even who are trying to get drafted, you know, to put it in a sports term, if you're trying to get drafted, then you're trying to impress and stuff like that. But if it's not working, then we need to see okay, what gives, what's wrong. And we're trying to assess that for you, but it's so hard to do when you keep sputtering information here or there and everything like that. When it's okay, just give me just keep quiet just for a little bit because I'm right there on the brink of figuring out what's wrong. And then, but you just have to keep quiet. And that's part of asking for help. When you ask for help, wait for the help to arrive, right? You don't ask for help and then it's okay, but this, and this is how it works, and it should be like this and should be like that. I'm like, okay, everything that you just said, 90% of it doesn't apply, right? So just relax, right? And I think that is part of the biggest frustration that people with experience in tech have with people who don't have experience, because you can't keep quiet, right? And you when you ask for help, you don't know how to ask for help. You don't know how to receive help, right? And that's what we're trying to do is when we're trying
back to work, chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work.
When we're trying to help you level up, right? One, ask for help, and you have to ask for the help the right way. I met with a not a recruiter, but they are the one who's on the client side. So they have recruiters who are looking for the talent, and then they have she would be on the side of who manages the relationship between the clients, right? And when I was talking to her, she's like, a lot of the people they don't have the necessary experience, or when the way that they reach out is they'll reach out I need a job, and it's okay, so what? That's not how. That's if you need me to help you, that's not how you reach out. So you better come right, politeness and everything like that, because if there is someone who is where you believe that they can help you, you better show them that you would appreciate their help, and you don't be rude or anything like that. Be very kind, right? But yeah, learning how to ask for help is crucial in the tech industry, and being able to absorb the help and listen 100 times as you speak, and you can see how much further you can go in that spot. All right. So that is our second part of how to be successful in tech. Right now, let's go ahead and get back to it. All right. So let's put up another 20-minute block.
It's time to do.
And as much as I would love to be here all afternoon with you, I cannot be here all afternoon because today is a busy day. I have a meeting at 6:30 with the Tech Barbarians, and I got another meeting at 8 p.m. And then I got to go upload videos for the week. And I still trying to sneak in my Patreon video this week for my Patreon members about how to get started. Not even how to get, but to preparing yourself to work in an agile environment in your personal life the same way that you do in your work life, so you can be uber successful, right? So Just trying to get that in here today as well, but we shall see. All right. So let's go look at our propagation should be done, right? So if I go to, let's see what happens. It loaded. It loaded. It loaded. But how do I know which one loaded? That's a good question. That is a good question. How do I know which one loaded? I don't know. Honestly, don't know. I know. Well, no. Well, the reason I say how do I know which one loaded, although we made the name server changes, how do I know that it's propagated to the right one? Right? Because sometimes propagation takes a little bit longer than other times. Let's try this. Get a terminal window. Let's go with here. And if we do ns lookup, I don't know if this is going to work, but that did not really help much. But if we look at here, let me see. I don't know. I want to be sure that the right one is up. Well, there's a way that we can find out. If we were to tear it down, see, but I don't want to tear it down because then I have to do the whole DNS thing again. So we're not going to do that. That is a interesting dilemma that we're having right now. I have an idea. So here's how we're going to tell if it's up, right? And this is totally on the fly, right? We're going to go to code pipeline. We're going to go to the first code pipeline. We're going to change the branch to something else. Let's go to this one. And let's change this branch from the main branch to something else. So once that deploy happens, then that should show us something differently. So we edit this. Because right now this is for the main branch. So if we were to deploy, so we deployed this one. Or this one. We can always change it back to, man, what is this D man? I don't know what that is. Oh, okay, I know what that is. All right, no worries. This is terrible naming. All right, we're gonna have a conversation about this because this is a terrible naming convention. But whatever. We'll talk about that. Let's go to return random quote. And if we were to save that, because we can always put it back, you know. Let's go ahead and save. And let's release the change. Whatever. Nothing that we can't undo. So what I'm anticipating on seeing now is when we refresh, I would, if the DNS is propagated, we're going to keep the site that we're on right now. If it's not propagated, we're going to see a different version of the site. And when we go to here and we get the URL for the old one, this one that we're using, weird. But when we get this one, we should see, we'll be able to see what version is actually up, right? So let's take a look at this. Deployment in progress, successful. And now it just, okay, so that's good, right? So now let's go over here. Don't need this anymore. If I refresh, what do we get? So the goal is that it should still be here after refresh and not something different. All right, so let's see. Okay, so that's good. So now if we go into here and we go to this URL, we should see something different. There we go. There we go. So we have successfully implemented our Terraform for pretty much our whole Terraform for deploying our application using an Elastic Beanstalk, and to have our certificate, and to have our Route 53, and to have our load balancer. So that is amazing. You know what? Let's give us a nice round of applause. For the time being, I am going to change this back because we're probably going to get rid of this manual configuration anymore, because who likes manual, right? We're going to change this back to how it was. And then we shall eventually get rid of it. But we do want, let's get this to be back to how it was, because we don't want that there. But this is great progress. I am so excited that we have won with Terraform. It took us a while just to figure out that we needed to add 3 to 4 lines of code, but we did it. All right, we did it. So let's do this and call that main. And then we are going to do done. And we are going to save that. And we're going to release the change. But what I just did right here as well, if we were to have like a staging environment, which eventually we'll have to do something like that, but that would cost us way too much to do it with Elastic Beanstalk. But this would be a way to have a staging environment, but right now we test locally and then we push to production. But this would be a way where you can set up a different branch. So like, let's say you have a develop branch, right? And you have a security group that restricts access. Maybe you need a VPN to access it or something like that. That's how you would be able to have like your development branch and your dev testing and stuff like that. And then once the changes are done, so like every time you push develop, it does that merge. And then once that's done, then it's going to push it to when you merge into a master, then it's going to go into this one, or not that one, but it's going to go into the release changes. It's going to go into you go into this pipeline, or you can probably even add more steps to the pipeline and stuff like that. So where like I'm guessing here, but let's say we do you go from here to here, and then you add maybe another step like, okay, now once the source is merged into master, now we have another step of the deploy process. So I don't know. We'll find out a little bit more about the code pipeline as we go along. All right. So that is that. Very, very cool. And this like, we don't need to follow this because it'll get done in a few, right? So we are on a roll. We are doing great today. I am very, very excited. We're going to leave that like that for now. And then it's going to be hard because like it took us a lot of work to do it manually. It took us a lot of work to do it in Terraform. But the thing is, every time we need to deploy it in Terraform, we just do Terraform apply, which I don't think we're going to have to do again anytime soon. But we are going to have to start figuring out our database stuff. So we're going to start looking into the database then, right? We're going to start looking into DynamoDB, how we can apply that with Terraform, so that we can move our quotes from my sophisticatedly ghetto implementation, pulling it from a Google Sheet as an API and having it done through a real implementation of a database. And then me and my tech barbarians are going to be creating the API where you can post to an endpoint to add new quotes, to retrieve quotes, to retrieve all quotes, all of that good stuff, right? So that is the plan. That is the goal. So this is done. If I go back here and I refresh, and we are good to go. Shout out. Alrighty. So let's go to, let's fix this up a bit. We don't need this anymore. We can close this out for now. All right, so let's start doing a little bit of so this might be our last segment because we have this up and working. And let's go and look for DynamoDB Terraform. So first and foremost, what exactly is DynamoDB? All right. So it is an Amazon service, right? So how did I get to Wikipedia? I thought I was going to Amazon. All right, so DynamoDB. Serverless, no SQL, fully managed database with single-digit millisecond performance at any scale, right? So why are we going to go with DynamoDB as opposed to DocumentDB? Very, very simple. DocumentDB, I believe it's not serverless, right? Let's see this real quick. When to use, all right, differences between AWS DynamoDB and DocumentDB, newly launched service. All right, this was 2 years ago. AWS recently launched new service DocumentDB similar to MongoDB interface. What is the difference between AWS DynamoDB versus DocumentDB? Only difference according to info is that DocumentDB has an SLA of 99.9 uptime, whereas DynamoDB has funny. All right. So the major difference that DocumentDB is a middle step between MongoDB and DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a fully managed scalable service where you set upper limits of its potential. DocumentDB is a bit more hands-on, and you have to select a number of instances for the cluster and instance size. This means you would need to keep an eye on the usage, performance, but not to the extent of MongoDB. MongoDB would be the most flexible, but also requires most maintenance. All the good for performance, depending on the application. It depends on how flexible you want with the cost of more maintenance. All right. All are good performance depending on the application, but it depends on, okay, so we read that. The other factor is the pricing model. Both MongoDB, Atlas, and DocumentDB, you pay per hour plus usage for DocumentDB. DynamoDB, you can pay based on provision resources or on demand, pay for what you use. And that's the main reason that I'm going to be going with DynamoDB to get started, because, and I think they offer like a certain amount of usage per month for free. And our database is going to be super, super small for the foreseeable future. But you never know how we're going to grow. And then as you grow, you're going to have to make money off of it too. So we'll figure that out. And then my tech barbarians can be winning even more. All right. So some key differences. The Amazon DynamoDB is a fully managed NoSQL database service. It provides fast and predictable performance with scalability. You can use Amazon DynamoDB to create a database table that you can store and retrieve any amount of data and serve any level of request traffic. DocumentDB is based upon an open source document database, MongoDB, and leading NoSQL database. DocumentDB is based on open source MongoDB and is a document database designed for less of development and scaling. So DynamoDB uses tables, items, and attributes as the core component that you work with. A table is a collection of items, and each item is a collection of attributes. DynamoDB uses primary keys to uniquely identify each item in a table and secondary indexes to provide more querying flexibility. So that's interesting. Wait a second. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. So it says Dynamo is NoSQL. So if Dynamo is NoSQL, then that should work like Mongo, I think. I don't know. We're gonna have to find out a little bit more about that. I can see some of the code for DynamoDB. NoSQL Workbench. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna do some more research to make sure that we're going at the right decision here. Because if it's NoSQL, it should be like Mongo. We'll find out. Let's see if we have. Let's see the getting started resources, right? To make sure we are on the right path. So there is training that you can take for DynamoDB. Just want to see an example of their code actually. Create inquiry in NoSQL table. Let's see what this is. Create a NoSQL table. So let's see how that works. So you create a table, table name, partition key, sort key. Let me see. Query the NoSQL table. Why is everything like in the GUI? Let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, let's see some examples of DynamoDB. We're using, let's look at Node.js for a little bit. So if we do a batch get, so my main question is DynamoDB similar to Mongo? That's what I really want to know. DynamoDB also supports multi-record ACID transactions. Unlike Mongo transactions, each Dynamo transaction is limited to just 100 operations. The same item cannot be targeted with multiple operations. So DocumentDB is what's equivalent to. So what exactly is Dynamo then? We have compiled a list of solutions that reviewers voted as the best overall alternatives to competitors, and including Azure, Cosmos DB, MongoDB, Atlas. What is a key value NoSQL database? Let's see.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
That's going to be very, very interesting. I have to do some investigation on this. But we can always, like, I don't know, we can always find MongoDB host as well if we want to stick to MongoDB. Let's see. And I can always check in with Don as well, because he will definitely have recommendations on that as well. Let's see. Let's see. You know, got to do our research. $5.99 a month for VPS hosting. I just want MongoDB hosting though. We shall see. Well, I guess we might have a plan for the following week then, right? We're going to be looking into databases and stuff like that to see which is going to be, because I was thinking about DynamoDB, but now I am not so sure, you know, but we can always try it out, see what it offers, and if that's going to be the right solution for us. But it's possible that it might not be, and we'll figure it out from there, right? So we shall see. What is MongoDB Atlas? Let's find that out real quick. Pricing. Serverless from 10 cents per million reads. That doesn't sound pretty. That sounds pretty good actually. Shared from $0 a month for learning and exploring MongoDB in a cloud environment. Basic configurations options. No credit card required to start. Shared RAM, 512 megs to 5 gigs of storage, which I think that's way more than enough. And then for 10 cents up to 1 terabyte of storage, which, you know, like if we were to ever get to 1 terabyte of storage, then we might as well get this dedicated plan, because we should be rolling in the dough, right? It's all right, cool. This might be an option, right? This might be an option if there is not a serverless option from AWS. Let's see if I wonder if, let's see, serverless MongoDB AWS. Since we're on AWS, I'd like to stick with AWS, but you know, that's not always possible. Fully managed MongoDB database, built MongoDB Atlas serverless architecture. The following serverless reference architecture uses AWS Lambda functions. It shows real-time transform to so is there I search Mongo here. Okay, MongoDB Atlas pay as you go. That might be where we're going to be headed towards. Sold by MongoDB. If we go here, AWS Marketplace. That might be the path for now. We shall see. We'll see. All right, anyways. Let's go back to our full screen. We got a little bit of time to do some research this afternoon, so that's awesome. Let's see if there was anything else we wanted to touch up on before we wrap it up for today. But while we're doing that, if you haven't done so yet, do me a favor, go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. And if you're looking to level up your technical skills and your career skills, go ahead to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can join me and the Tech Barbarians in winning in the tech industry. All right. So do that if you need to level up, which we all need to level up, all right? So we were at, okay, so the last thing before we wrap it up, I'm going to put 5 minutes so I don't go on and on and on and on. We're going to put 5 minutes up on the clock. And the last thing that you need to do is you need to connect with experts, right? Connect with the people who are where you would like to be. Ask them for help, guidance, information. And then after you do that, you have to listen to their response. Stop cutting them off. Stop interrupting. Stop talking too damn much. And do what they tell you to do, right? If they say, okay, based on your situation, you need to do this, then you need to do it, right? If you need help on how to do it, ask for more help, right? Ask for clarification, but stop offering your opinions before you're not mature enough yet to have an actual opinion, right? Listen. So connect with the experts, right? It's your first step. I gave you the most important first, and then we work backwards, right? But now I'm giving you this. But now we're going in reverse order so you can actually have the steps so that you can level up and so that you can be successful in the tech industry, right? So you need to connect with the experts, right? Especially if you're trying to get in. If you're on the outside looking in, you're like, hey, let me in, give me a chance, right? Nobody owes you anything, right? Like I was saying the other day, success starts when you realize that nobody owes you anything. Everything that someone does for you, it's really a favor or kindness, right? But no one owes you anything. So reach out to the people who are in the positions who are already winning. And then once you're there and they're willing to communicate with you, now you ask for help in a nice and polite way. All right, you're just like, hey, I need help. Do this for me. No one owes you anything. I'd be like, hell no. Like, go away. Like when people reach out to me the wrong way, I'm like, I don't even respond. Honestly, I'm like, all right, cool. Like someone leaves a not so nice comment, I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just say thank you. Oh my goodness, is this who I think it is? Hold on once. Hold up. Hey, Michael Jenkins, is this the one and only Michael Jenkins? He says,
I appreciate you.
and see, all this love at one time, right? So Michael Jenkins says, sounds like the title for a good blog post, how to be an effective mentee. That is an excellent blog post idea. I can also clip these breaks up and turn it into like a little podcast as well. But yeah, that is a pretty good thing. But I have to write it out. My goodness. Like, hey, ChatGPT, can you read this part of these segments of the show and write up the blog post for me? All right. I know I'm going a little bit too far. All right, but that is an excellent idea. Thank you so much, Michael. And he goes, I'm listening on a delayed feed, but yeah, it's so. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate it to see you, and you do some amazing work. I've shared this with you guys before. I shared his courses that he has on LinkedIn. So I would definitely recommend you go check them out. You know what? While he is here, let's see. See if I can find this real quick. Oops. So Mitch says, what if you don't agree with what they say? Maybe that's why you're on the outside, right? This question is for people who that is thinking this. All right, cool. I can definitely answer that. I was looking for some. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. I know where to find it. I'm gonna answer your question in just a second. That is hilarious. LinkedIn learning. definitely next time I'm going to drop the link to Mike's LinkedIn. Is this? Hold on, say something real quick. Make sure.
Get a move on. Back to work. Chop, chop.
Oh,
let's
yeah,
go.
there it goes right
Come
there.
on, get a move on. Back to work. Back
There
to
we go.
work. Back to work.
I am going to drop in the chat a link to Michael Jenkins' LinkedIn, his LinkedIn Learning, where he has. We reviewed this before, right? But I'll bring the comment back up, and let me get rid of the timer because we have some interaction. So I'm going to drop a link in the chat to Mike's LinkedIn Learning profile. He has, and I'll share the screen as well. He has continuous integration courses, right? He has GitHub Actions for the CI/CD pipeline. He has Nail Your DevOps Interview. Shout out to that. Learning Engine X, right? And I believe, I'm not 100% familiar with Engine X, but I believe it's like to host stuff. Like it's like a hosting server. So like I think actually we did Engine X when we were deploying when we first started with Terraform, and that it would so part of it was like I think Elastic Beanstalk starts up with the Engine X, right? So we've seen it before, and then Jenkins Essential Training. Advanced GitHub Actions. I probably need to take this course right here because I'm going to work on creating a GitHub app for one of the things that we do at work. And then we have learning Jenkins, learning GitHub Actions, running Jenkins on AWS, and DevOps tips. So there is so much stuff to learn. A lot about DevOps, a lot about CI/CD pipeline. So and like I said, as soon as we're done with Terraform, we're going to be moving into learning DevOps. So Mike has so many resources that you can definitely learn from. Let me go ahead and drop the link in the chat. So many, like I've connected with so many wonderful people who have so many great resources. And that's like one of my favorite things about being on YouTube and being in different like Slack groups, Discords, is that you meet some of the most amazing people, and that you can share about them, share their resources, and that we can all level up together. All right, so go ahead and check out Michael Jenkins. Check out Mike's LinkedIn Learning page and follow him on LinkedIn as well. Right, great guy all around. I believe Mike, are you one of the founders of the Black in Technology group? Right, because that's the Slack that I know him from. And just great guy, always offering insight and expertise and that's what I mean, like connect with the experts, right? He always one of the first people to respond and help people with whatever coding issues or just advice in tech as a whole, so great guy. So I definitely recommend that you go and check out his info. All right, so let's go back to the beginning, not the beginning, but to the full screen. All right, so let's go back to Mitch's question, right? He goes, what if you don't agree with what they say? Maybe that's why you're on the outside, right? The question is for people. Okay, so it's not that like, okay, if you don't agree, it depends on what don't you agree with. And a lot of people, because there's a lot of things that I hear that I don't agree with, right? And it depends on the field or the realm. But I would always say when you don't agree, right, make sure you understand what you don't agree with. Right? Make sure you understand what you don't agree with. Because a lot of times there's a lot of misunderstanding, or there's different perspectives. Like you can see something from this angle and you can see something from another angle. And so like you might actually agree, but you don't see what position that person is coming from. Now, if you don't have much experience to know or anything like that, now, what is your disagreement really about? If you disagree with the strategy that they're giving you, but you have not been able to actually make it or get what you say that you want, and they have, then maybe that's when we go back to the first and most important rule and principle is listen 100 times, because now we have to up the number. Because if you're going to be disagreeing with something that you haven't been successful in, right? I see that all the time on one of my favorite YouTube channels, where people will write in and call in and talk about, oh, you're wrong, you don't need this, you don't need that, when they don't have anything to say or to prove that content creator, So that's like, it just depends, right? It depends on what the disagreement is about, right? So I would say make sure you understand, and if they've been doing it for a long time, then the question is, are you listening 100 times as much as you are speaking, right? And now ask questions. Definitely ask questions like, okay, so and you can explain your situation and stuff like that and everything. But at the end of the day, did you have you tried what the advice that they gave, and for you to be able to disagree? A lot of times we disagree based on theory and not based on practical reality. You know, so many people are like, okay, try this. Oh, but this and that and that. I'm like, okay, but you don't have any experience to know that it's not going to work. Try it out. If it doesn't work, okay, fine. Then we can regroup and we can try again. But it's all about actually doing something to get the results. Stop depending so much on the theory and start to depend more on practical experience. All right. And let's just finish through. Mitch, it's so funny. I couldn't fit that in only 6 words. And so Mike says that Nginx is a web server, and this is a link. So definitely go check out his LinkedIn. Give him a follow on LinkedIn as well. Check out his learning. And Mike says he's not a founder of the Black in Technology, just an admin on Slack and work on the website from time to time. Well, I'll tell you this. You do an excellent job. You help so many people in the Slack group, always giving insight. So just want to give you your flowers and give a great shout out to you. And to wrap it up, Mitch says, in the words of Family Feud, good answer. You know, got him back to his 2 words, you know, because I'm not going to count the in the words of Family Feud. I'm going to count what's in the quotation that says, and let's not forget the thumbs up. Can I get a thing from my, all right, no. Okay. So with that being said, we are going to wrap it up for tonight. Like I said, listen twice, 3 times, 100 times, 1,000 times as much as you speak. Ask for help and connect with the experts, and then that is going to lead you on your pathway to success. And as Mike suggested, maybe we'll turn this into a blog post called How to Be a Successful Mentee, right? Because there's always I think that's a good idea. That is a good idea, right? Thank you so much, Mitch. You know how I feel. You know how I feel.
I appreciate you.
All right. And let's not forget, I almost forgot, right? We had a new subscriber to the channel, right? It was right in between talking to Mike and, you know, all this excitement and everything and giving that last tip. So let's do this right. We have,
I appreciate you.
it's King 330 in the house, new subscribers to the channel. Thank you so much. You are very, very appreciated and welcome to the channel. Feel free to leave me a comment, reach out in the chat anytime. And if you ever have a question, especially on Tuesday nights, I will be more than happy to answer your questions for you. And that goes for all of you out there watching. You are always welcome to this channel. And on Tuesday nights, if you want to call in, by all means, there we go. So quick reminder before we wrap up, tomorrow morning, we're going to be going live with the Coffee and Kata morning show. It's a little bit early for Mike because he's all the way out there in the West Coast, right? But for everybody else who is on the East Coast, maybe Central, you know, we're going to be working on our Flutter development. We already have the app in testing mode in both app stores, iOS and in Android. So we are going through that, and that's what we do. We put everything to work. We do not like learn things just to learn them. We learn them and then we put them to use. We put them in production. Theme for us is in production. The theme of the year: stay focused, my friends. Stay focused. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you for tuning in. If you have not done so already, go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live or drop new content. All right, and if you need personal one-on-one, not personal, but like personal technical help, you know, I can't really get involved in your personal lives like that because I am not I might be a tech therapist, but I am not a therapist. All right. So if you need personal technical one-on-one coaching, then definitely tune in and go to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can sign up for one-on-one coaching with me and get access to exclusive content that is not on YouTube as well. And we can go from there, right? So one last question before we wrap up. I have to ask you this question. I have to ask, right? The question is,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
are you entertained? Because you know,
I mean, all we do is win, man. You know that.
all we do is win. We are on the winning. I repeat, we are on the winning team. Okay. And lastly, I always have to remind you, today's price is not tomorrow's price, right? And that's why we continuously level up. Inflation is no joke. All right. So, as a constant reminder,
one more thing. Price of the brick going up.
have a amazing Sunday afternoon. Thank you to Mitch. Thank you to Michael Jenkins. Thank you to It's King 330 and everybody else who tuned in on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early. And we are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Hear me, warriors of the North. Today we have tasted the sweet nectar of victory. Our foes indeed defeated, and their lands are now bowed before us. The gods themselves have favored our glorious deeds on this glorious day. We have shed blood, sweat, and tears to claim this land. Our relentless spirit, our unyielding determination, these are the very essence of our people. The spirit of our ancestors rejoice in the halls of Valhalla. For today, we have added to their eternal glory. Our victories will echo throughout the ages, and our names will be etched in the annals of history. But let us not forget the price we paid, the brothers and sisters we lost. They now feast in the hall of our forefathers, watching over us with pride. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. As we celebrate this conquest, let us also remember that our journey is far from over. More land awaits our conquest, more battles upon us forth. And the fire in our hearts burn ever brighter, for there is no limit to what we can achieve. To those who dare stand against us, let them tremble in fear, for they shall witness the fury of the northern storm, the wrath of the untamed barbarians. Today we celebrate our victory. Tomorrow, we set our sights on new horizons, a charted land where our banners will fly high. We are Vikings, we're barbarians, we are masters of conquest.
So I just want to give an additional special shout out to Mike for becoming a member of the Tech Mercenaries. Shout out to you, Mike. So much support in everything that you do. Awesome guy. I just had to come back. You know, I don't normally come back, but I just had to give a special shout out to Mike for being a member of the Tech Mercenaries. We are out here winning, all right? And I am officially out, all right? You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.